trauma that you're talking about, was that what led to the divorce or was it a result of it?
Per se that's going to harm you, but because of going through a traumatic experience, something emotional or even physical, right? So if you've been through any type of physical abuse, and of course my family impacts me. I have two young sons. One of my sons, he did tutoring, right? He tutored fifth graders, fourth graders. He's 19 now.
Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining us in today's episode of the Obehi podcast. I remain your host, Obehi Ewanfo. In Obehi Ewanfo, or in the Obehi podcast, we love to talk about story a lot because story is fundamentally important. They help us to frame ourselves and frame our perspective, and also help us to be able to interact with other people because now we know where we are standing. We are standing on our experiences based on what have happened to us, and also we're able, based on that, we're able to also understand the other people better. So today I have the honor of having with me Deborah. So Deborah is going to be sharing with us her journey, her life, and what she does. So Deborah, thank you so much for being here. Could you tell the people who you are?
Thank you for having me. My name is Deborah, and I am a business coach, and I'm also a apparel designer. So, and my business is training with Deb, and also my other business. So you see, I'm a serial entrepreneur. Is designed by Deb Apparel, and so I yeah.
So I wanted to understand, Deborah, if you look back to where you're coming from, your infancy, let's start from there. What do you remember? What do you see around yourself when you were much younger?
Being much younger, when you were young, the teacher always asks you, "What do you want to be when you grow up?" And of course, instantly in second grade, I'm like a lawyer. But it doesn't always turn out to be like that. When you get older and you start really experiencing life. So my journey into entrepreneurship really started young when I was 16 years old. So I used to do direct marketing with like skincare products such as Mary Kay, things like that. But I've always been a creative. So I guess you could say like this is really my time because we are in the world now for creatives. So I never strayed away from being creative and being like multi-talented since I was young. So I enjoy writing, but I didn't know that I had this gift. Um, and you can say now it's spiritual, but this gift of teaching. So I love education. And so I realized that doing knowing that I had this gift of educating and teaching, which led me to business coaching.
That's interesting. Tell me
Mhm.
how you got into teaching. Okay, we understand that you love it, but how did you get into the art of teaching?
Oh, it started when I was young with my brothers and sisters being a teacher because it's actually seven of us. But I had to be the one to be the teacher of us all, right? We used to play this game, right? We used to play this game in my neighborhood, and it was school. The game was called school. So the teacher, whoever's the teacher, every time the student gets something right, get a answer correct, you move to the next grade level. But we used to be on steps. So you move to the next grade level, and the next grade level was a step up, right? So we would play this game. Me and my brothers and sisters and a few friends in the neighborhood, and it would be school. We would play school. So that's how I knew like I really love to teach. But it didn't become real apparent until around college, my college years, because I'm a faith and I'm a God fearing woman. So I was introduced to the ministry really early, like maybe around 14 or 15 years old. But when I got into undergrad, that's when I really took my personal relationship with the Lord and my personal walk with the Lord seriously. So in that time frame, um, the church that I was attending at the time, a member of, they asked me to do Sunday school, right? Sunday school for the ministry. And this is undergrad. So that helped me to take me back to my roots of teaching when I was young. And I was like, wow, it was just full circle for me. So to be able to have the pastor ask me to teach Sunday school class, and this was leadership. This was leadership teaching, right? And I was just like, I had no idea that other people could see what was in me. You know what I mean? And that's what I love about entrepreneurship is that we may see things um, from our perspective, but it really matters when other people see things within us. And so that's what happened with me first teaching in ministry Sunday school class. And it was leadership training. So from then on, and I had to be about maybe 21 years old. And so now, full circle, me becoming a business coach is just, it's top tier now. So I've been teaching after undergrad and received my master's degree in religion education because again, I love education. I'm from little. And then I started teaching in the uh, community college here in Maryland in the US and 9 years of teaching undergrad. And who knew that I would love education like I do? So then the pandemic happened and it was like, okay, I needed to pivot, do whatever I had to do. So I started my clothing brand designed by Deborah Pearl because I realized people needed inspiration. So I started that, but I never gave up training because I love teaching. So I never gave that up. So in the midst of that, I'm juggling two businesses as I'm doing now, juggling two businesses. So again, I just love education and I love educating people. And I never stop educating myself because first you have to be a student, right? You should be a long, I always say long learned student. So you be a student first. And so I'm a student first. And then I'm able to educate and teach others.
But how do you manage to juggle all of them at the same time? Do you never have any challenge doing that?
I do have challenges. I have challenges all the time because without challenges, you can't grow. So,
I like that too.
no, it's really true. I mean, who wants challenges every day or throughout their, life? And but maturity says challenges is a part of the process, and it's part of growth. And so, I have challenges all the time. But I have to realize that that's a part of growing and maturing and also being able to be an example for my students, right? Or my clients when I coach them and when I train them. So challenges are really essential. We don't really want to have those challenges, but they are essential to the process and to growth. So there are a few challenges that I've faced. I've faced divorce, right? Divorce now, maybe say almost 10 years now. But that was a very yeah, that was a very traumatic time for me because during that time I developed panic attacks. And I actually talked about this because I started a podcast show, right? I started a podcast show so I could talk about the everything that I was going through, all of the trauma that I was going through in a divorce. And again, like I said, I love educating. So what I did was I started writing again, and writing was therapy for me because I was writing since I was 12 years old. So I have a few books out, but I started writing. And I wrote this one book called Turning Tragedy into Success, which is available on Amazon. But that book is a 30-day devotional. And it basically goes through 30 days of releasing trauma, right? And it's emotional trauma. Because a lot of times we see a lot of physical trauma happens, and it leads to, mental health battles. But emotional trauma is just as prevalent, and it's just as serious. And so my journey of, going through the divorce and going through separation was it was traumatic, but I had to learn how to deal with it. And how I dealt with it was to write. So I started writing. I wrote the 30-day devotional, Turning Tragedy into Success. I started getting into groups and networks with other writers. And I was a co-writer on 3 other collaborations, book collaborations, um, and became best-selling author. And so that's why I said process, challenges help you to go to the next level.
All right. So this trauma that you're talking about, was that what led to the divorce, or was it a result of it?
If you experience panic attack, a panic attack is when you think that something is going to happen or something is wrong, but it's not really wrong. And so you go through which is our natural bodies. You go through the fight or flight, right? And so that means that the hormones and the cortisol in your body, the stress in your body, the cortisol, that's the stress hormone, right, in your body, can cause you to react when really it's nothing really to react on, right? So what I mean by, you can start having heart palpitations, you can feel like you want to faint, or you can feel like a fearful that maybe something may happen to you. But what's happening is you're experiencing a fight or flight type of, energy within your body. So there's nothing wrong per se that's going to harm you, but because of going through a traumatic experience, something emotional or even physical, right? So if you've been through any type of physical abuse, if you've been through any type of emotional abuse, any type of verbal abuse, those things can happen. And sometimes it can be something that's over a stretch amount of time, and you think that it just pops up and you say, I don't know where it came from. But once you know, been diagnosed that you have a panic attacks, and you go to therapy and they let you know, then you're able to deal with it. So the fight or flight is natural, right? And so this is what I had to tell myself, is that what I'm experiencing actually is natural. So let's say when you are maybe in a store or something, and something happens where someone comes in and maybe try to rob the store. Guess what? Your heart's going to pound. You're going to feel like you're in this defensive mode, right? Like you're going to have to protect yourself. And so when you protect yourself, your heart is pounding and you're trying to figure out what I need to do to exit the situation. So think of that in you're in a regular elevator. Because some people have like phobias. So you're in an elevator, like agoraphobia, where you're in an elevator, the door closes, and you feel like you're trapped inside. Everything is closing in on you, right? That's a part of panic. That's a part of anxiety, right? And so in order to um in order to control that, you first have to know that everything is fine, you're okay. So for me, and what I dealt with, I've dealt with it for years, panic attacks and anxiety, and I've talked about it, openly. But how I dealt with it was, again, writing, therapy, and really honing in on who I am, right? And
That's important.
understanding
That's important. No, I
yeah,
think that is
who I
very
am.
important. Yeah.
It is.
Now, how did you leverage that? How did you overcome it? And then how did you place that message in your book that people can read and learn more about this experience? Because, of course, they are learning now because it helped them to improve themselves, okay? So first I'm
Um,
asking, how did you overcome yours? What did you put in the book for people to read and also overcome theirs?
wow. And that book, Turning Tragedy to Success, that book was geared towards my audience, my reading audience that may have been um experiencing some type of emotional trauma. But that helped me to get out what I was experiencing, if that makes sense. So I really turned it on, okay, how would I want my readers to, in order to get through their trauma and get through their emotional barriers, I want to I would reflect on what I've been going through or what I'm going through into the writing. And so the devotional is, it's like basically you turn that darkness into like extreme spiritual faith-based energy. And so that's what's in the book, to be able to overpower and overcome the panic and the anxiety. Basically the fear, right? The fear. So that's how I overcame it. Is that first knowing who I am, right? I am a child of God. I am a mom. I am a friend. I am someone in the earth, right? I have purpose. So when I realized like I have purpose and I gotta change this energy, this negativity into something positive. And so writing helped me to do that. And again, so that devotional, and I wrote that devotional back in 2020, 2017. So, but yeah, so that's how I overcame it, is that the writing was my therapy, and I got back to that by um tapping into the entrepreneurship that was way back when I was 16 years old.
Tell me, you were talking about teaching. You've been teaching for a very long time. What are some of the best ways to impact knowledge into people based on your experience? Of course, you are an expert in it. You've gone to school to teach, and you even got a degree in it, right?
Well, my I guess my philosophy and the knowledge is first reinforcements, right? Reinforcements, and a lot of people believe that they are hands on, like they want to see visual. They are visual learners, and so teaching in the community college that I taught in for nearly 10 years, I've came across so many different students that learn in so many different ways. But them understanding how they learn makes it so much more purposeful of what they need to do when they start pursuing their careers. So what I taught when I was in at the community college was teaching towards what type of learner that specific individual is. So you have visual learners, audible learners, hands-on, you know, type of learners. And so my way of teaching is reinforcement. First, identifying what type of learner you are, and then reinforcing what you learn on a daily basis. That's my philosophy, and it works. And have fun. Have fun learning. Have fun teaching. I love teaching because I have fun. I meet my students where they are. So, and it's the same thing with coaching. I am business coaching. I meet my clients where they are.
Yeah, in
I
fact,
have fun.
I wanted to ask you that, like, how do you import that your method of teaching into your coaching? But anyway, you are there. Help us to clarify that.
Again, I reinforce. I find out first what my clients are what are their needs, right? Because when they come to me, there's a pain point, right? There's a pain point, and I want to be able to solve their problem, right? Or solve their issue. And it's the same thing with teaching. Like the students come in because they want to learn. They want to learn to be able to go out into the world and be able to be productive and be successful, right? Achieve goals. It's the same thing with coaching. It's the same thing with training. Is that the entrepreneur has goals, they have purpose, and they want to achieve those goals. And I always tell my clients and people that I talk to, mentorship is key to an entrepreneur as teaching a student, being a student, teaching a student. So there are some identities there, and there also are comparisons there as well. But teaching student teaching is to a student as coaching is to an entrepreneur. Having mentorships and having people around that knows what you're going through or what you've been through. They've already walked it out already. So I never teach anything that I haven't been through, right? So I think that's what makes me an amazing teacher, I think, too, and an amazing
Absolutely.
coach.
And did you also had a coach who coached you to be who you are today? Can you share anything about that? Can you say anything about that?
Oh my goodness, I have so many coaches. I have I have so many uh people, mentors, and those people who have inspired me um throughout the years. Like I still listen to, one of my amazing coaches, Lamar Tyler. He's a business coach, and he expounds, he's real, and he's just amazing. And then I have another coach, her name is Cheryl Pillow Wilson, Dr. Cheryl Pillow Wilson, and she's amazing. She's an amazing coach for like just to empower women, you know. So, and somebody that really inspired me for a long time, and she's no longer with us. Is she's my Was my mentor, my godmother. Her name was Dr. Diane Wilson, and she always talked about do everything in the spirit of excellence, and I carry that with me even to this day. So, and she was just an amazing woman in the medical technology field, in the science field, and I mean, just to see her go in, teach, because she taught at historically black college, Morgan State University. And I was actually her admin assistant at the time. And just to see her go in and teach the students, but also she drawed me in. So she wanted to know what was my perspective. What did I see? And I'm thinking, hey, I'm just an admin, right? But that's not true because God saw that I'm a teacher. So this is way before I was teaching. But everything that I went through and that I've gone through, and everybody that's a part of my life is intricate to the purpose. So it's just amazing. But those are just a few people that have impacted me. And of course my family impacts me. I have two young sons. One of my sons, he did tutoring, right? He tutored fifth graders, fourth graders. He's 19 now, but he's tutored, so I'm like, oh my goodness, you be able to see your gifts and talents in your children, right? So it's carried me.
Lovely, lovely. That is lovely. Now, when you look at maybe the people that you are coaching, what kind of complaint did they bring to you for you to solve for them based on your experiences?
What were some of the say it one more time.
I mean, your coachees, the people that you are coaching, what kind of
Right.
problems are they bringing for you? I mean, I'm trying to understand what are they strongly with.
Okay, so some of my clients are they are just dealing with just how to manage, right? How to manage the business, how to manage being a solo entrepreneur, how to manage this new technology, this AI that we're in, right? These are the problems. And I'm like, this is so good. Ooh, I love it, because I'm ready. I'm ready to tackle their pain points. So they come at me with, "Hey, this is new," because a lot of the older generation they're not they don't know about AI. They don't know. They're still trying to learn social media, right? Social media. So they come with, "Hey, I know that I should have content. Content is important. What do I do? How? Where I start?" So I always get the ones that are they trying to transition from that corporate type of level, career to, hey, I want to be able to have success as an entrepreneur, but I realize that I need to be on social media. I need to have community, around me. What do I do? How do I start this thing? And so those are some of the problems that my I see my clients having. That fear, right? That fear of new technology, just new, I don't want to be on camera, right? And I always tell them, hey, I'm camera shy too, but this is a part of the business.
That's
It's a
interesting.
part of the business.
Yeah. Uh, you've been an entrepreneur for a very long time. Some at least from when you were like 16 or something, if I remember very well.
Yeah. Mm.
Tell me something. What do you really love about entrepreneurship? What do you love about entrepreneurship as a field?
Oh my goodness. Like entrepreneurship, what I love about entrepreneurship is being able to serve, right? Be of service to people. I love that more than anything because I'm using my gifts and talents to make somebody else's life better, hopefully, or see their purpose, and that's what I love about entrepreneurship. And, you know, we love the money. Like we want to make money. We're in it to make money. And I know I used to struggle with that a little because you'll hear a lot of people say, well, hey, don't do it for the money. The money will come. But let's just be honest. We are here to be able to make money too, right? To be able to sustain us. But I love the service and I love the grit and the grind of it. It's hard work, but you see your hard work showing up in so many different places and so many different people, right? I see my hard work showing up when I see my clients and I look at their social media pages or their community is growing or their business is flourishing, sales revenue are going up because the service that I provide for my clients is amazing. When people wear my shirts, my when they wear um my bold messages of inspiration. It's like, wow, I'm being of service. And somebody sees me, somebody understands, they get the vision, and they're walking it out, right? They're walking out what I envision to be of service.
Sorry, you were talking of your book before, and you said that it is available on Amazon, something like that. Could you tell people
Yeah.
how they can get a copy of it as we move
Oh,
towards here?
that is a older book, but this new book is the C-suite. Right? I didn't know that I was a C-suite, that I was running a C-suite. That's my new book, and it's a downloadable ebook, and you can get it on my training website, training with Deb.square.site, and it is fully compacted with so much templates, actionable steps. It even have AI prompts in there to help entrepreneurs to be able to manage. Because again, one of the pain points that I see a lot of entrepreneurs is about managing all of the different roles that they have, like all of the different hats. So with this particular ebook, that helps them to be able to take on these roles as a solo entrepreneur, just like me. This is myself. I'm a solo entrepreneur too, and to be able to think with a mindset like corporate, with those five essentials of the five essentials of a C-suite business, right? So you have the CEO, the COO, the CFO, and the CTO, right? And a CMO, right? The Chief Marketing Officer, right? So all of those combined, and to be able to have a structured and easy, accessible way of managing as a solo entrepreneur.
Thank you so much, Deborah. I really appreciate the time spent here with you talking about your story and what you're doing.
Thank
So, to
you.
conclude this conversation, what would be your final message here to the listeners?
Well, my final message to the listeners is to know that you're amazing, you have purpose, and if you just dig deep into where that purpose came from, it might have been when you were young and it comes back full circle. But know that your purpose is going to show up. It's going to show up in all of the things that you do, the people that you meet. It's just full circle. So I just want your viewers to know that entrepreneurship and being in business, it serves a purpose, and that they have purpose, and they're amazing, and they can accomplish anything that they set their minds to.
Thank you so much for that positivity.
Thank you for having me.